Here's what I'll say to anyone who's running one campaign for assisted living, memory care, rehab, skilled nursing, and home health, all in the same Google search campaign. They're losing money. And not just a little, they're throwing away budgets like it's the end of the world. Because that single campaign is trying to be everything to everyone. People who are looking for short-term rehab after surgery are not the same people who are researching memory care for their mom. One searches with urgency and intent, the other with hope and confusion. The same ad copy, the same landing page, the same budget allocation, it's chaos in the search engine. I've seen teams waste $10,000 a month because they didn't know that one single campaign was hiding real performance under a flat average. And you don't even have to be a genius to see this. It's just common sense if you're paying attention. This is Assisted Living Paid Ads Marketing, the show about running search campaigns that actually work for senior care communities. I'm Mikey, and today we're talking about campaign architecture per care line, because the single biggest mistake most operators make isn't a tactic or a tool. It's the assumption that everything can be in one bucket. So here's how to think about it, and what most people skip right over. There's no one funnel for senior care. There are 5. Every care line, assisted living, memory care, short-term rehab, skilled nursing, home health, has its own journey, its own urgency, its own language. You can't treat them all like they're just more of the same. So here's how it breaks down. First, create one campaign per care line, not a campaign with multiple ad groups for multiple care lines. One campaign for assisted living, one for memory care, one for SNF or rehab, one for home health. That's 5 separate buckets. And yes, each gets its own budget. Each gets its own cost per inquiry target. That's not overkill, that's precision. Then inside each campaign, you build tightly themed ad groups. These aren't just generic keyword groups. These are groups built around the exact intent of what someone searched for. For example, a rehab group might have keywords like short-term rehab after surgery, or rehabilitation care city, or post-hospital rehab county. Each of those phrases is a decision point, a moment when someone's making a call and they want to know what you can do for them right now. Then match each keyword with a landing page that speaks to exactly what that person searched for. Not a generic homepage, not a brochure page. That's what people see when they're not sure what they want. A rehab search should take them directly to a page that says, "We admit patients within 24 hours. You'll get discharge planning support. We accept Medicare." They don't need to wander, they need to be told. Next, use negative keywords like you're doing damage control. Block terms like jobs, salary, volunteer, training, and reviews of staff. These aren't just noise, they're spending hemorrhage. And I mean hemorrhage. The average campaign loses 15% of its budget to irrelevant traffic without a proper list. You can't just rely on good luck or your team doing their best guess. You have to be aggressive. And here's the kicker. Track each care line individually. Set CPI targets that are specific to each one. One might be $5, another might be $15. That's not arbitrary, it's based on performance. If you're blending all the data together, you don't know which one is crushing it or which one is burning through your budget with no return. Takeaway here, if you're not running a separate campaign for each care line, you're treating all your audiences like they're the same. You're not, and if you're sharing a budget or target across them, then you're losing money on the average performance of the worst one in the mix. Now, here's what happens when people don't follow this structure. They end up with campaigns that are bloated and ineffective. The ones who don't use negative keywords are bleeding spend on irrelevant traffic. They waste time trying to figure out why one ad group isn't working, when the problem is that they're trying to sell memory care in a rehab ad group, and people think they can shortcut this by not doing proper segmentation. That's a lie. That's like building a house and not putting up walls. It might look fine from the outside, but inside, it's all chaos. The same goes for your Google campaigns. Here's what you don't realize. When you run everything together, you're also hiding good performance in bad. One campaign with mixed traffic makes it impossible to see what's really converting. You're optimizing for an average that doesn't represent anything real. There's also the problem of landing page mismatch. People search for assisted living near me and land on a generic homepage full of services they didn't ask for. That's not just bad user experience, it's inefficient ad spend. And don't even get me started on what happens when teams try to optimize one campaign for multiple care lines with wildly different goals. It becomes a race to find the middle ground, which is usually the worst possible place. You also miss the opportunity to test messaging, budgets, and offers per care line. You can't really know if a memory care ad is performing well or if it's just getting lost in a big bucket of assisted living ads. Finally, and this is the biggest one, you're not building performance data that tells you anything useful over time. When you're tracking 5 campaigns, each with a clear purpose, you get clarity. When you're tracking one campaign where everything's mixed, you get confusion. If you're running search campaigns for senior care, then you should be running one campaign per care line. That's the only way to really optimize performance and control spend. Set up those separate budgets, build those intent-based ad groups, match keywords with landing pages, and block irrelevant traffic with negative keywords. You'll see real improvement in cost per inquiry and conversion rates. If you want to know how to set this all up, including what negative keyword lists to start with, how to build your ad group structure, and how to set realistic CPI targets, the full system is inside the course at learn.mikey.ai. I'm Mikey. Do it right.